Hi, friends. It's Barbara Erdal, and I'm here today on day 10 of our crafting and prayer spirituality challenge and how they are connected. But I'm going to go back a couple of days. I have some notes here and just kind of catch us up a little bit. Um, the question on day 8, or the activity on day 8, was learn about the history of spinning and knitting in spiritual practices or specific cultures. So that's a really good thing to do as you're working on, say, the mittens that you're making for your family or for charity this fall. Think about the hundreds and hundreds of years that people were making mittens and the prayers and the thoughts that went into those. Now, I love knitting mittens. What I don't love doing are making the thumbs. I get very frustrated with the thumbs. So let me just show you as a for instance. Oh, here we are. I started these quite a while ago now. Here we go. These are for my husband. Go with a hat that I made him. And there's the thumb. This is hand spun. This is not spindle spun. I think the cuff was, but the rest of it is not. It's a merino blend. And I really like it. This was my mochaccino that I shared in a video quite a while ago now. But I do like this. But the thumb, you see, you put it off. And then when you're all done doing what you're doing, these will be fingerless. You go back and you work on the thumb. Well, that's all fine and good, but I don't like going around in circles on that little tiny space. But there has to be some joy to be found in that, right? You have to find the joy in all of the little things that you do. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like darning in the ends of a finished project. And when I think about all of those little ends, and actually what I've been working on lately, oops, there we go, is I'm spinning this orange 2-ply on my favorite Turkish spindle. And I'm going to have a lot of little pieces. So I'm trying to decide how to put all those pieces together. I'm not sure yet whether these are going to be mitts or socks, but you'll be the first to know, I think. So that's ready to go. But it's learning all of the different histories of making things out of sticks, right? Or very fine knitting needles, which in some history books were called knitting pins because they were so fine. And we tend to want to finish things faster, so we use thicker wool, thicker yarn. We use really thick needles. I have no thick needles sitting here because I find them awkward. But you can finish a project much faster, much quicker. But is our crafting, regardless of what the craft is, about getting it done quickly? That's the question. And knitting in circles of people, knitting, crocheting, prepping yarn, walking, walking, a finished piece of woven cloth historically. These were not done always as an individual, especially the walking part. It's a group of people, a group of ladies, mostly ladies, but not so much. When you think about it, weaving was often done by the men. The spinning was done by the women and the weaving by the men. But in groups where they would gather and they would sit and talk. And I belong to a small knitting group here at our local church. And once a quarter, we get together. We're getting together in October and then again in December. We share dessert, conversation, and some of us knit. So we're working on prayer shawls. So there's a bit of a practice involved there where we're together with other people. And I think that's kind of the wonder of it when we get together. So maybe you can journal or reflect on how these crafts connected people to their faith throughout history. It's an interesting question. Day 9 was a spinning activity. So, spinning wool with the intention of creating something for someone you care about. So, the spinning that I did for that mitten was specific to Nick, who is my life partner, my husband. And we do that, don't we? We create things for the people that we care about and that we love. And in the reflection of that, we can pray for that person. We can send good intentions and light to that person, asking for special blessings for that person. It's not all separate. We're not creating with our hands just to create. We have a purpose. Finding peace in the process is what I'm calling this video. Peace in the process. So today's prompt, work on your knitting project with extra focus on even tension and neatness. Now, my tension's pretty good, I must say. My tension is pretty good, very consistent. My spinning, not so much. So I can be knitting with a perfect tension so that it looks the same throughout the whole object. But if there's a little bit of a bump in the fiber or in the yarn, then it may not appear to have perfect tension, but in fact it does. And I don't look at that as being an error or something that's abhorrent. I think it has to do with the fiber itself and what that feels like. So we went to a farm, and I'll share more about this in another video, and I got some Blue-Faced Leicester and Merino Cross. So we're here in southwestern Ontario, and I carded some up. This is the white. It's a long wool, and it's very strong. And then I dyed some, and this is the color I got. So I'm not real happy with this color because I was using goldenrod and other yellow flowers in the dye bath. Will I get an even tension? Look at the crimple in that. The crimp. It's just wonderful. So as I'm spinning this, there may be parts that have little lumps in it, something that will make the yarn be not quite so perfect. I'll just look at this piece that I just took off on the skein. Maybe I did this one last night. It's pretty consistent. I'm doing 11 to 12 wraps per inch on a 2-ply from the Turkish spindle, which is a center pole ball. Fairly consistent. So as I'm working with this yarn, my knitting will also then be consistent. So how does that reflect to our peaceful practice? Well, we can reflect on finding balance in our lives, balance and harmony. I love the word harmony. I'm a musician. So when things are in harmony, they all fit together beautifully and create something bigger than the whole. I like that thought. But finding the balance and the harmony, how it all fits together. So maybe journal a little bit about that. What does that mean for you? And I'm going to go one more day. No, I'm not. I'm going to come back to day 11 the next time. I hope this has been encouraging for you as you do your craft work, whether it's spinning, crocheting, knitting, quilting, sewing, whatever it is you're doing. I hope that you can find peace and joy in the process, as I have. I find working with natural fibers to be peaceful for me. I find spinning to be peaceful. And even when it snaps and the spindle falls to the floor, it's like, okay, I wasn't paying enough attention. It's time to pick that up. Finding that balance once again. So I hope you find your balance. Find your peace in the process this week. And I'll see you again next time. God bless. Happy crafting. Bye for now.